Greetings petrolheads, welcome back to Automation, the car company tycoon game. Today we're gonna be entering the 80s. We did enter the 80s in 1980, like flat, but this is the first car that's released like in 1981 or later. So when the 80s are already in progress, not just at the very start. Right. So this is the Flare Mark IV. It is only a face, it uses the same body as we already used on the Mark III, because, well, I couldn't find any suitable body in 1982 that I wanted for it, so I just did that. Of course, that means everything here is still the same. Steel space frame, fiberglass panels, the wishbones all around. But the fixtures are now different. We now have one big set of headlights here, and then some smaller ones here for like the high beams or whatnot. And there's the indicators, there's the fog lights, some vents down here. And the rear end is new as well. So overall I think we still keep a decent portion of the old car style, but also like advance it to a new era, because the 75 model is getting a little bit dated in 82, of course, so we just gave it a little bit of refreshment. Obviously it is still rear-wheel drive. It also still uses the same, a slightly changed version of the 4.2 liter flat-plane V8, which now has a cat, a freeway cat, now that this is available, as opposed to only the two-way cat, which would cut down power by way too much. Yeah, still makes 300 horsepower, now makes 250 pound-feet of torque. And it revs slightly higher as well. I think the old one only revved to 6,700. This goes up to 7,000. And yeah, this makes for some pretty decent numbers. 5.2 seconds acceleration, 13 point what quarter mile? Let's test it out. $13.6, and I did test both this one and the Mark III with the flat-plane V8, and the new one is quicker on the quarter mile by a tenth or so. So it may not seem that impressive, but it is not only quicker, it now also has a cat and makes way less emissions, so you know, we're moving with the time. There is also a Roadster. You know, same engine, same styling, but no roof. Because this has way more weight on the front than on the rear, it doesn't get enough grip off the line, so this is slower on acceleration. So this will, these two, the V8 Coupe and the V8 Roadster, will both top out at 255 kilometers an hour. And yeah, like, wait, this costs 24,695, and then this costs, why does the Coupe cost more than the Roadster? That doesn't seem right. So we will adjust that. There we go. Yeah. Excuse me. Both of these are not like the greatest the greatest handling sports cars. They're not really tuned for downforce or stuff like that. They still have pretty sporty suspension, but yeah, and sports tires. But you know, no downforce, no crazy sharp handling. It is still sort of, you know, everyday drivable. But then, because I thought keeping just these two would be, you know, a little bit underwhelming, I decided to turbocharge this engine and make a special version of this car. Yeah. Vents and a bonnet hump, wing on the rear, quad exhausts, additional vents down here. Yeah, no, this looks like a special version of a sports car, doesn't it? So let's look at the engine. This is now still the 4.2 liter flat plane V8, but of course turbocharged now. Running 0.85 bars of boost, that's not that much. But at the same time, it's enough to give us 450 horsepower. We have throttle per cylinder configuration with multi-point EFI. I should have pointed that out, that the new engines, the 82 revisions, this one already gets a multi-point EFI. Running, of course, in regular unleaded fuel, with a big exhaust, with a three-way cat, no mufflers, because the turbo already lowers the amount of noise you get anyway. We don't really need mufflers to do even more of that, because this thing is supposed to be loud. Now 5.1 seconds as opposed to 5.2 seconds on a regular V8 coupe doesn't seem like that big of a difference. However, if you look at the quarter mile time and especially the quarter mile speed, you will see that this engine is pulling real hard. Yep. Once it gets going, it is really, really quick. I did a little experiment. Let's try something. What if we were to make this car all-wheel drive? How fast would it be? Obviously, change this to something more reasonable like that. 3.6 seconds. 3.6 seconds acceleration time. The quarter mile speed is of course lower because all-wheel drive takes away some more of your like the drivetrain loss is higher than with two-wheel drive, but because it gets off the line so much faster, it'll do the quarter mile in 12.1 seconds. That's pretty damn quick. Yeah, but of course I will keep this thing rear-wheel drive, just to stay true to our tradition. And so you can make a huge burnout, of course. Because with this engine you really can. 368 pound-feet of torque. I mean, it doesn't come until almost 6,000 RPM, but you still get quite a decent amount of torque in the mid-range. So how much would this cost? 35, that's about 7,500 more than the Roadster, and that is today's money, of course. I could go up to 100%. You know, if we're gonna be making a special version, we can justify it being expensive. Just under 40 grand, okay. It does very well in the hypercar category. it would do even better if the penalty for it being an old body didn't exist. But what I did do is I set up all this, and we will be making there it is. We will be making 300 of these. 300 turbo coupes. And yeah, that's all there's ever gonna be from those cars. I still don't fully know, like, the Mark IV is the successor to the Mark III, obviously, to the Mark IV coupe is the successor to the V8 coupe in that sense. How do I make it so in 1982 the production of this thing runs out and the production of this starts, but before that this isn't a thing yet? And the same would be for the engines, that normally the 300 would be produced, but from 1982 onwards the 300 Cat would be produced, and also the Cat Turbo, of course, because that's the one we put in our special version. I don't know how to do that, if that's at all possible yet. If not, it probably will be at some point. But yeah, that is going to be the Flare Mark III with a crazy turbo version with river drive, way too much power, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave a like or a comment if you did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.